Good morning. Welcome to the Windward Buddhist Temple. This is our Dana Day Pet Memorial Service, and my name is Merle, and I'll be your MC. We'll begin with the ringing of the temple bell, or the kansho, that signifies the beginning of a temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in the ancient tradition. It is a calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma, or the teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of members, friends, and guests of the Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit quietly in your seat. Please rise for the meditation, followed by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation in Pali and English. This is found on page 7 in the red Jodo Shinshu service book.
Amida Buddha's boundless compassion is for all sentient beings suffering in the world of delusion and ignorance. It encompasses all living things, not only human beings. Today, we honor our friends who have given us much joy and happiness in our lives by just being what they are, our departed loved pets. By the Buddha's compassion, we fondly remember our beloved friends in deep gratitude, knowing that the Buddha's salvation will enable them to achieve enlightenment and transcend the rounds of birth and death. We recite the Buddha's name to express our gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Ando, Namo Ando.
Please be seated. Today we are remembering our pets who have passed away in any month and any year. Please come forward to offer incense when your pet's name is called. After the last name is called, Reverend Kalu will strike the gong several times and go directly into chanting the Sutra, Sanbutsuge, in the red Jodo Shinshu service book on page 47. We'll begin. Sparky Yamamoto. Tofu and Thumper Miyamoto. Coco and Missy Tashiro. Larry Yanagisawa. Brownie and Frisky Wasai. Floppy Tashiro. Suki Arakaki and Precious Miyamoto. Tenzin Dio. And Henry and Gordon Lopes.
Ado
뇨세 산마이 지혜 이조 고세 덕በ츠 흑여 시간 이사이 그 이사다이 암 개시의 버즈 약센노 그만 버려다이쇼 신여고자 그여 이사이 시토 쇼버즈 흔여그도 겐쇼 극약 희녀고자 쇼버든 세카이 무프하게 무식센도 고묘시쇼 hen시쇼 고근요세쇼진 이진난료 료가 사분 고그도 나이지고 슈기며 노조조 세든 고근요 나이옴 님의 도소 가토아이민 도다든 이사이 이포라이쇼 신내든 쇼조 이토가 고그게라 그 암놈 고분 신묘 세가 신쇼 호즈감노이 리기쇼 쇼요그지 호세섬 지혜무게 조료시섬 지가신교 계려신시 쇼그덕즈 가교쇼진 닌주흑해
Please rise for the recitation of the Shinshu Pledge number 2, found in the same red Jodo Shinshu book on page 6. in trusting in the vow of the Buddha and reciting the sacred name,
I shall
proceed through the journey of life with strength and joy, revering the light of the Buddha and reflecting upon my imperfect self. I shall strive to live a life of gratitude, follow the teachings of the Buddha, discerning the right path. I will spread the true Dharma, rejoicing in the compassion of the Buddha, respecting and aiding others. I shall do my best
what cause of society.
Namo
Namami
Amida
Dabutsu, Namami Dabutsu, Namami Dabutsu.
Please continue to stand for the Gatha, golden chain, on the sheet that was handed out to you. Thank you. Please be seated. This morning we have a guest speaker, and Dennis will be introducing her.
Good morning. Our guest speaker today is Cynthia, best known as Cindy Alm. Cindy is a member of the Hawaii Betsuin Temple and currently serves as the president of Hawaii Betsuin. Cindy is active with the Honolulu District Honganji Council and with the Hawaii State Lay Association. In the past, she has held the position of president of the Hawaii Betsuin's Buddhist Women's Association. Cindy grew up in Manoa. She is a graduate of Roosevelt High School and the University of Hawaii at Manoa with a BA, and Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. with a law degree. She is an attorney and has worked as a mediator and meeting facilitator, and was previously an assistant professor at the University of Hawaii Scheidler College of Business. Cindy is married to Robert Alm, and they have two daughters, Kristen and Rachel. In her spare time, she's learning how to play taiko drums and enjoy gardening. I've known Cindy for a number of years now. Back in 2020, the Honolulu District held the State Lay Convention, and she was an integral part of our team to plan that out. So I welcome Cindy.
Thank you very much, Dennis. That was really a wonderful experience to plan that State Lay Convention, especially because it was during COVID, and with Joy Nishida's help, we took that program fully online. And did a Zoom program. So thank you very much. Good morning. It's an honor to be here with you for your Dana Day and Pet Memorial Service. Thank you very much for your kind invitation. Dana Day was established in 1965 at the World Buddhist Women's Convention in New York City. Each year, on the second Sunday in February, Buddhist Women's Associations, or BWA as we are called for short, take up collections for charitable and social welfare organizations in their communities. The collections are taken up here in Hawaii on the mainland and internationally. The Kailua Buddhist Women's Association, or as it was initially called, the Fujinkai, was established in 1966. Mrs. Shirasu, the wife of Reverend Shirasu, was the president, and it was typical for the minister's wife to serve as the BWA or Fujinkai president in those early days. Kailua was one of the 4 BWA units that comprise Honolulu United BWA. The 3 others are from Mo'iliili, Jikoen, and Hawaii Betsuin. Representing Kailua on the Honolulu United BWA and statewide BWA were Esther Fujioka and Dorothy Ono. As you may recall, Dorothy Ono and her husband, Tadaso, bequeathed a large portion of their assets, which were used for the new and now current temple facilities. Kailua BWA celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2016. It remained active until December 2017, and I'm certain that it was a very difficult decision for the Kailua BWA to step back from being a part of the Honolulu United BWA. I do know that the women were focusing their energy in serving as temple leaders. So here are some photos of the Kailua BWA, and these are from the statewide newsletter that we have for the Buddhist Women's Association. So at the bottom left, the 2010 BWA officers were President Shirley Yanagisawa, Vice President Jean Fukumoto, Secretary Mary Lou Lomaka, Treasurer Janet Kukino, Auditor Karen Fuke. Directors were Julie Kusumoto, Lillian Nishimura, and Chisai Sumikawa. In 2011, activities included decorating the Hanamido, or flower altar. It's the picture on the top left, for Hanamatsuri, or Buddha Day, with the flowers that were donated by Kailua BWA members and the Kailua Honganji Ohana. Hosting a Honolulu United BWA field trip that included a visit to Kailua Honganji, and you can see that group photo of the old Kailua Honganji temple. The field trip to Kailua Honganji was to give participants an opportunity to visit Kailua Honganji before its structure was demolished for the construction of a new temple. The last photo, a traditional Japanese New Year's year-end celebration was held in December. It was called the Bonen Kai, and as you may know, Bonen Kai literally means forget the year party. To leave behind the regrets of the current year, have a blowout of a celebration, and look forward to the new year with a fresh perspective. The Kailua BWA enjoyed a Chinese lunch at Joyful Garden. All diners brought canned goods instead of a grab bag. Other activities for the Kailua BWA included planning menus and activities for the start of participation in Family Promise of Hawaii, It's an organization that provides housing and meals for families experiencing homelessness. Many churches and temples opened their grounds and spaces for the families to stay temporarily. Contributing to the success of that program were Marjorie Ikeda, Janet Kukino, Joy Nishida, Chisai Sumikawa, Shirley Yanagisawa, Temple President Keiji Kukino, Reverend David Nakamoto, and John Nishida. There was also an annual garage sale of clothing, housewares, plants, and Mrs. Kukino's delicious takuan. A Thanksgiving canned goods project resulted in 126 items taken to St. Anthony Outreach Program. There was an annual poinsettia sale, and in 2011, also packing the kitchen and temple items in preparation for the demolition of the temple building and construction of a new temple. Kailua Honganji BWA was very active. So getting back to Dana Day, which is part of a BWA tradition, the word dana comes from Sanskrit and Pali languages. It is translated as generosity or giving, and in Buddhism, dana is one of the 6 paramitas, also called the 6 perfections. Generosity, the willingness to give unconditionally, to give others what is needed without expectation of a personal reward in return. It is not a give and take, it is not transactional. There is a letting go of any desire for gratitude, praise, or recognition, and the intention is the concern for others. For myself, I look at dana as having an attitude of abundance, that I have enough, that there will be enough. And even if I give away, and maybe especially if I give away what I have, that I am contributing to greater abundance in the community. When you look up at the full moon, do you see a rabbit? The Jataka tales are a collection of stories that teach Buddhist lessons. One of the stories is about a rabbit and the moon. These stories, the Jataka tales, are often about the previous life of Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha, and involve animals such as a monkey, a deer, elephant, rabbit, woodpecker. The classic story about Dana and the selfless rabbit is about the rabbit who has nothing to give and so gives of himself. It is said that the image of the rabbit in the moon is there so that everyone for all time can remember the story of the rabbit's act of selfless giving. The Japanese also have a version of this story. And I recently learned that there is a similar Aztec story from Mexico, a rabbit who offers herself to save another person's life, can be seen in the moon. The late Pono Shim was a former president and chief executive officer of Oahu Economic Development Board. He was a storyteller and an advocate for the practice of aloha as a way of life. He talked about the essence of aloha. I will do my best to share his story because it has resonated with me for many years, and I remember it as a story about a half a cup of flour. Pono's daughter attended Kamehameha schools. The school has a ho'olaulea, like a Punahou Carnival. Pono was on the ho'olaulea committee, and they adopted the theme that nothing is too big, Nothing is too small. Everything is precious. Everything is important. The committee was asking Kamehameha School's families to help with the ho'olaulea, and Pono noted that the Kamehameha School's families come from all economic backgrounds. Some are indigent, some are very affluent. The families were asked to contribute items such as flour, sugar, shoyu or soy sauce, or rice, something that the committee thought all families could contribute. Families were asked to drop these items off at school, and the committee did not ask for any money. On the day of the drop-off, which was from 6 to 7 in the morning, Pono was at the elementary school collecting flour. Students were coming on buses from Nanakuli and Waianae, from Kaneohe and Waimanalu, and parents were dropping off students in cars. They came with 5-pound bags of flour. It was fast and furious. He had 3 bags of flour. He started to inventory the flour that had been dropped off. When he came to the last pile, on top of that pile was a grocery bag. He opened the grocery bag and he started to cry. In the grocery bag was a quart sandwich bag with a 1.5 cups of flour. In telling this story, Pono said, "This was the greatest gift." He felt that he was holding on to so much. The value of the gift was because it came from the heart. He said it was a ho'okupu, or sacred gift, with 5 elements. I hear what you are saying. The person brought the flour and said to us, I hear what you are saying. I want to believe that it is true. I don't have very much, but I give you everything I have. Please use it wisely. His thinking is, here is someone who gave everything they had to help accomplish something for the community. In my mind, that is an essence of dana, of giving. The Dalai Lama is quoted as saying, just as ripples spread out when a single pebble is dropped in the water, the actions of individuals can have far-reaching effects. The actions of dana can also have a ripple effect. When Pono shared the story of the gift with the leaders of Kamehameha schools, he saw people break down and cry. They started to say, how can we help? It raised the bar. They asked, how are we going to step up? Someone had given so much. Some gifts do not require giving of material possessions. Examples are hospitality and the welcoming of others, helpfulness, reaching out to help others in a humble and respectful way, sharing appreciation of Buddhist teachings. In Jodo Shinshu temples, we recite the Golden Chain of Love, and this illustration was done by one of our Hawaii Betsuin BWA members, Fujiko Motobu. What are ways that we can practice dana each day? By what we think, by what we say, by what we do, with pure and beautiful thoughts, pure and beautiful words, and pure and beautiful deeds. When I started out, I said that dana was one of the 6 paramitas, or 6 perfections to strive toward. The others are moral conduct, patience and perseverance, energetic endeavor, contemplation, and wisdom. I'm sure that we've all had pets who we loved, and it was wonderful to see the memorial for the pets today and the recognition of how much they have given. In our family, we have fighting fish, goldfish, a parakeet, mice, a dog, and we currently have a turtle. Our pets have given so much to us. For example, I'm certain that our turtle communicates with us by letting us know that it's time for breakfast by splashing around. And our parakeet lived to very old age. One morning I found her at the bottom of her cage, and I picked her up, and she was still breathing. She took her last breath in my hands, just as I picked her up. I see our pets as examples of selfless giving. I hope that this message has given us some opportunity to reflect on Dana and the thought about giving and giving fully and selflessly. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. If you'd like to hear Pono Shim tell the story of the cup and a half of flour, it is available online, Greater Good Radio. It's an audio recording, somewhat like a podcast. The podcast runs for about 25 minutes, and in those 25 minutes, he tells this story about the cup and a half of flour. It starts around 11 minutes and 52 seconds into that podcast. So thank you again for allowing me to be with you today.
Thank you, Cindy. I always thought I was looking at the moon to look for the mochi pounding, the rabbit pounding the mochi. Okay, please rise for the Gatha, Gentle Hands in the Purple Praises of the Buddha book on page 62. And we're going to sing it twice because it's a rather short song. Again, it's called Gentle Hands on page 62. And we will continue to stand afterwards for the Nembutsu on page 145.
of compassion illumines us from afar. Those beings it preaches, it is taught, attain the joy of Dharma. So take refuge in Amida, the great consolation. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida.
Thank you. Please be seated. That's the end of our service this morning. I think Dennis has some announcements this morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Cindy. It was interesting. I enjoyed the stories about the Kailua Buddhist Women's Association, and those pictures were very good, reminiscing of the old days. Everybody looked younger. Thank you, Reverend Saul, for leading the service, Merle for being our MC, Jerry, and I should say Jerry and Stephen for being our greeters today, Shirley for ringing the kansho, Joy for playing the piano, and of course Ryan, who's recording the service. We welcome back Tom. Good to see you again. And introducing our newest member, my mind's blank. Miyuki, I'm sorry, Miyuki Tomura. Welcome. Next Sunday, first of all, as we do every year when we do have our Dana Day service, we will be donating today's offertory to the Honolulu United BWA, or Buddhist Women Association. So thank you for your generous offering, and if you haven't already made offered incense and done your offertory, please do so after the service. Next Sunday is our Nirvana Day service, memorial of Shakyamuni Buddha. The service will be led by Reverend Saul, and he will be providing a Dharma message. Then after the service is our cleanup day, so I appreciate those that can stay to help the cleanup. A reminder that the adult Dharma classes will be starting on March 1st. A sign-up sheet, I forgot to put it in the back, but I'll get the sign-up sheet out for those interested in taking the class. I reminded you about the Yes Camp that's coming up in April, I believe, and Joy has an announcement about it.
This past a couple days, we were with several people around the state, but including our youth specialist, Emmy Hashi, and she wanted to let us know that the Yes Camp group is selling McDonald's fundraiser packs for, to help offset. They're really trying to get a lot of young people out. This is their first camp style Yes Camp since the pandemic. So they wanted to subsidize a lot of the campers and provide incentives, like I think invite a friend, get something % off. But anyway, so I said, I'm gonna take some to you folks, and no pressure, and it's a little different than before. It's $10 now, and there's not just food, there's some other business type of coupon thingies in here, but would appreciate your support, $10, and can see me if you'd like to support Yes Camp. Thank you.
No pressure. But buy 2 each now. This past Friday and Saturday was our 113th Legislative Assembly at Hawaii Betsuin, also known as the Giseikai. It was attended by Reverend Saul, Reverend Bert, Prudence, Ryan, Joy, and myself. There were several resolutions that were approved, and the most important was the approval of the budget for 2025. Among other activities during the gathering was a report we made regarding how we are doing since we began to use the trade name Windward Buddhist Temple. Our legal name is Kailua Honganji Mission. We received several compliments on our presentation and how we were doing. And I expressed in part, it's about our Sangha. You know, in Buddhism, we know about the three treasures, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha, of course, and the Dharma as expressed by Reverend Saul. But the Sangha is you, it's all of us. And you're attending in person, and also those in person, social media. You all have been so supportive of our Sunday services and the activities that we put out there. Thank you all very, very much. The assembly was closed with the Living Treasure Aloha Luncheon held at the Hilton Hawaiian Village called Ballroom, attended by about 700 people, I understand. The luncheon was chaired by our own Cynthia. I understand she did a great job in planning it. I had to miss it, so I missed out on the good food. Okay, big announcement. We're having bingo today. Where's Ethan? Okay, are there any other announcements? If not, it's time for refreshments, so let's do words of thanksgiving. Words will be up on the screen. We are truly grateful for this wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share its benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddha's compassion, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Thank you.